today's world, almost everyone scrolls through Instagram whether you have thousands of followers or just a handful. It's become a digital town square, connecting people far and wide. But what happens when a simple follow turns into something far more sinister? I'm Alex, 22, living in the sleepy town of Maplewood, a place where everyone knows everyone and strangers are rare. At that time, I had just over 280 followers on Instagram, which felt like a decent number for a small town. One quiet Thursday evening in late October, while I was watching a movie, my phone buzzed. A new follower, a girl named Emma. Curious, I opened her profile. She was stunning long chestnut hair, piercing green eyes, and a smile that seemed to light up the screen. She had nearly 6,000 followers, and her feed was filled with candid photos, spaced out over several months. Each post had hundreds of likes and dozens of comments from guys obviously smitten. I usually get cautious when someone like that follows me. Fake profiles are everywhere. But Emma's looked legit, friends tagged, genuine comments, the whole package. Then, before I could even follow her back, a DM popped up. "Hey, I don't usually do this, but you caught my eye. Not to sound full of myself, but I'm told I'm pretty attractive. I've had my share of attention, but you seem different." I was stunned, but intrigued. I replied, "You're cute too." What followed was a surprisingly easy conversation, fitness tips, our high school's favorite music. She even gave me her number. By Friday night, we planned to meet at a local bar called the Rusty Anchor, a popular spot in town. My nerves were buzzing. I'd never met someone from Instagram in real life before, especially someone like Emma. When I arrived, I waited in my car, heart racing. Then, a text. "My car broke down. Can you come get me?" I stared at the message. I called her, but no answer. She sent me her location, a lonely stretch of road on the outskirts of town, flanked by dense woods. I hesitated, then checked her profile again. It was still there, still real. I texted back, "On my way." Driving down the deserted road, the moonlight barely pierced the thick canopy overhead. I spotted a car with its hood up black, sleek, a Nissan Altima. I parked across the street and approached cautiously. The windows were heavily tinted. I knocked softly. No response. I circled to the front, checking the engine. Nothing seemed touched. Frustrated, I texted, "Where are you?" "I'm about to leave." As I turned back, I noticed the driver's side window was now slightly rolled down. My heart pounded. "Emma?" I called out. Suddenly, a hand emerged large, rough hand, definitely not hers, beckoning me closer with a crooked finger. Fear froze me. I whispered, "Get lost," and bolted back to my car. I sped off, glancing nervously in the rearview mirror. A car with no headlights was following me. I switched off my lights and took sharp turns through the winding streets, trying to shake them off. When I finally made it home, I checked Instagram. Emma's profile was gone. Blocked. Weeks later, I learned the truth. The account was hacked. The real Emma's photos were stolen by a predator using her identity to lure victims. I wasn't the only one. I'm sharing this because sometimes what seems like a harmless follow can spiral into something terrifying. Stay vigilant and trust your instincts. We all crave connection, but what happens when a simple click turns into a terrifying obsession? This is the story of how a harmless Instagram follow spiraled into a real-life nightmare. I'm Maya, a 19-year-old college student with just over 1,000 followers on Instagram. I usually keep my account public, so anyone can see my posts. I got used to random likes and comments, but one user stood out. It started with a beach pic of me and my friend, Sarah. Among the usual comments, there were 3 flame emojis from someone I didn't know. I clicked his profile. Mark D 49. 3 selfies, 70 followers, following over 200 people. He looked to be in his late 40s. Creepy, but I ignored it. Then, he started commenting on every new photo. One just said, "Hot." I rolled my eyes. But 2 days later, he sent me a DM. "Hey, I just wanted to tell you that you're beautiful, even though I'm like 30 years older than you, LOL. I replied, "LOL, thanks." "Big mistake," he responded. "I would kill to meet a girl like you." I didn't reply, but I didn't block him either. A few days later, I posted a photo of me and my sister Chloe in front of our house on Elm Street. He commented immediately, "You and your sister are so cute." That was it. I removed the comment and blocked him. Later that day, Chloe and I were home alone. I was getting ready to go out when I noticed a dark sedan pull up across the street. I couldn't see inside because of the tinted windows, but it felt off. Our street is a dead end, so we rarely get random cars. I went to my car, keeping an eye on the sedan. Still couldn't see inside. I drove to a friend's house for a party. A few hours later, I drove home, slightly tipsy. As I turned onto Elm Street, I saw the same dark sedan still parked across from my house. I parked, texted my friends I got home safe, and walked to the front door. I dropped my keys, but I was too scared to bend down and look for them. I rang the doorbell repeatedly, hoping Chloe would answer. No response. Finally, I found the keys and unlocked the door, darting inside. It was past midnight, but Chloe was usually still up. I crept upstairs to her room. The door was open, the lights off. As I stepped inside, I heard a faint whisper coming from the closet. Chloe's eyes peeked through the crack. She looked terrified. I knelt down, whispered, "What's going on?" She put her finger to her lips, signaling me to be quiet. I pulled her out of the closet, and as I quietly closed the door, I saw him. Standing in the middle of my sister's room, we screamed and ran. I felt him stomping behind us. We raced to the car, locking the doors just as he reached for the handle. He started pounding on the window. It was him, Mark D 49, the Instagram stalker. I managed to do a 3-point turn, honking the horn. He jumped back into his sedan and sped off, disappearing down the street. We called the police. They found signs of forced entry through an upstairs window. I told them about the Instagram account, but I couldn't remember the exact username. It was gone. The police couldn't do much. Since then, I've made my Instagram private, and I never post pictures of my house again. Because sometimes, the scariest monsters aren't hiding in the dark, they're hiding in your follow requests. Have you ever felt like someone was watching you, but you couldn't prove it? That's exactly what happened to me, and it's been haunting me ever since. My name's Jenna. I'm 21, and I live in a small town called Cedar Grove. For the past few weeks, something strange has been happening at night. Whenever I'm trying to fall asleep or working in my room with the light on, I keep hearing this faint tapping on my bedroom window. It's not a normal tap, more like something scraping or pressing briefly against the glass. At first I thought it was just bugs or branches brushing against the window, but it kept happening 2 or 3 times a week. It started to creep me out. I told my dad about it, but then, one evening, I got a text from a guy I barely knew, someone I'd had a class with last semester. He said, "Hey, not sure if you remember me, but I found something you should see. It's pretty disturbing. Then he sent me a link. I clicked it, and my heart dropped. The link led to an Instagram account named JP Unseen, my initials. The profile picture was a photo of me, but it was the posts that terrified me. Over 40 pictures, all candid shots of me. Some were harmless, me at the beach, sitting in my car. But the newer ones? They were taken from outside my window. Pictures of me sitting on my bed doing homework, even one of me in my underwear. The captions were chilling. My favorite view: "She doesn't know I'm here. Can't wait to see her again." The comments weren't warnings or concern. They were creepy encouragements, like a go for a day and lucky guy. Then I heard it again, the faint scrape on my window. Suddenly, it all clicked. I lost it. I screamed louder than I ever had before. My dad rushed in, hugging me tightly. I showed him the Instagram page and told him about the tapping. His face went from calm to furious in seconds. He stormed outside, yelling for whoever was out there, making a scene in our quiet neighborhood. Then he called the police. The officers took the Instagram account seriously and requested information from the platform. By the time Instagram responded, the account had been deleted, but they managed to trace the activity back to an old iPod Touch. Unfortunately, the device was untraceable, likely destroyed or permanently offline. My dad decided we'd move out within the month. Since then, the tapping stopped, but I keep my blinds closed all the time and watch my back whenever I'm out. If there's one thing I want you to take away from this, keep your Instagram private. And always, always be aware of your surroundings. Because sometimes the danger isn't just online, it's right outside your window.